So thank you everyone for coming along tonight, and thank you Roy for allowing us to be here, and Alana. Where's Alana?
She just downstairs.
Oh, she's coming. Yep. So I think you guys all pretty much know my story. I think you're pretty familiar. So I was going to start a little bit by talking about that, and I think maybe only Denise is the only one who hasn't heard that. So I might just quickly run through it, just because there's been some more excitement since November, certainly. So I might just run through a little bit and then introduce Sean and Kari Lynn, who are all the way here from Canada, who've just been an amazing support to me and sort of shown me what to do and everything like that. So, so as you know, I'm a physiotherapist and Jono is a personal trainer, and I think pretty much all know, yeah, Jono, he's sorry that he can't be here tonight. He got the stay home with Isaac job. So, so we were approached by a really good friend of ours, two friends of ours called David and Sarah Gilks, who are really wonderful health and fitness professionals from Canada, and they would send us an email about this great product that they were using, and we would, I would get this email, and I love David and I greatly respect, you know, what he does in the health and fitness industry, and so I would put it in I need to have a really good look at that, so I'll put it on my list of things to do, and you know, 50 emails would come in on top of that day, and so I am still managing 2 other businesses, and I had a little 6-month-old baby at the time, and so I just never got to the time that I needed that I thought I needed to have a look at his email. So 18 months later and 7 emails later, I finally got around to looking at his email and said to Jono, you know, I think we should have a look at this. And we, as you know, we decided to try the products and just had some fantastic results. I lost 6 kilos in 18 days, and which I've put back on, plus some more at the moment. Jono, who we didn't think had any extra weight, he lost 8 kilos, and just, he was shredded, and he's, you know, got these great abs and these triceps that stick out, and his performance in his workouts just went through the roof, and he's always had a lot of back and knee pain from his, he's done a lot of training with his professional sprinting career, and suddenly his back pain wasn't there and his knee pain wasn't there. And so we started to get a little bit excited about how great we were feeling. I had this mental clarity that was just insane. I remember just waking up after my second 2-day cleanse and just feeling like a fog lifted off my brain. It was just the most incredible feeling. And so, of course, we started to tell a few of our friends, and still, we were still a bit sceptical about the whole thing. You know, how could this really happen in a couple of weeks, and how could you feel so good? And so we just quietly told a few people, and then they started to have great results. And you know, my mum and dad both have lost nearly 20 kilos each, and Dad doesn't take his blood pressure medication anymore, or his cholesterol medication, and he used to look like a heart attack ready to happen, and you know, suddenly he just looks healthy and glowing, and it's just such a special feeling when you can help someone to change their health, even though he didn't think his health needed changing. So we just kept getting a little bit excited, and I guess talking about it all the time, and after 8-9 months, we were really fortunate and won a trip to Phoenix, and we went to Celebration, which is the big annual Isagenix event, and I kind of was excited about the trip to Phoenix, but not about the celebration thing, because I thought it would be a whole bunch of crazy people, you know, with the clackers and the rah-rahs and the dancing and clapping. Oh no. Anyhow, we went along, and it was just an amazing experience, and we met some wonderful, wonderful people, and it just showed to me that Isagenix was a company with such wonderful integrity and quality, and I made a decision that it was a company that I wanted to have something to do with. And that event is actually on at the Gold Coast this weekend, so I know a lot of you guys already have a lot of other plans, but if anyone can possibly change things around and get there, and we can talk a little bit more about that later, but it's just a great opportunity. And Jono and my business, we were cycling 5 times a week when we went to Phoenix, and in the 3 months after Phoenix we started to cycle 25 times a week, and now we're up to 35 times a week. So our income, I think at Life Magic, Roy was talking about our income sitting around 14,000 a month in November, and it was again that in December and January, and February's nearly 27,000. So it's it's really gathered some momentum as this business does, and it starts out slow and seems like nothing's happening and it's a little bit tough, and then suddenly it all just starts to happen, and it gets really, really exciting. It's just a really fun journey to be on. So, and two people who have played such a huge part in the incredible last 14 months that Jono and I have had are Sean and Carrie-Lynn Owen, who I'll ask to come up here now. And they've become really wonderful friends of ours, and I think if I could pick some best things, as Roy likes us to do, the best things are creating incredible new friendships, which I feel so grateful to have developed with these guys. So this is Carrie-Lynn and Sean Owen, who've come all the way from Canada to stay with us for a month.
Applause is a lot of pressure.
I'll let you wiggle over next to your beautiful wife.
Yeah, cool.
And
I don't know if I'll be able to sit down. I'll be too...
Oh, that's okay. I'll have to... I'll sit and stand a little bit.
Just kind of like...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So Sean and Carrie-Lynn have been involved with Isagenix for about 4 years now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, 4.5 years. So August will be our 5th year.
Yep. And they've got a really successful business and have just been amazing mentors. I've had businesses, as you know, in the other types of businesses, but never anything to do with network marketing or multi-level marketing. So I'm completely new to that, and had no idea where to start or what to do, and didn't even really want to start. And these guys have just been wonderful. So together we're going to hopefully help you guys go wherever it is that you want to go with Isagenix and move forward in the way that you want to. So, yeah.
Well, one of the things I want to do first is just add a little bit to Jen's story, because she was sharing how things have gone since November, and she was good enough to share a little bit of the income stuff. But what I love about our experience with Isagenix is you really get rewarded for giving. How do you lift other people up and help them create freedom for themselves? And Jen and Jono have been incredible at doing that. Mm-hmm. One of the most beautiful things I find with the company is they acknowledge those leaders who really, again, help others, whether it be through a product experience or whether it be through a business experience. And last month, Jen and Jono were the first place leadership, a bonus that Isagenix pays out that exemplifies leadership and those activities, and the check was over $16,000 for 1 month, just as a thank you. Is that worth a round of applause?
Yeah, thank you. That was fun.
And it's I think that's what's really special, is when you have an experience where you're working with a company that acknowledges and really recognizes the effort that you put out, because the structure of the company is in a way that their advertising is through all of us. The only way for that product to get into a customer's mouth is by one of us sharing the experience. And a lot of times it takes a lot of courage for us to share something that maybe we're not sure about the vehicle, or we're not sure about will this work for somebody else. I know our journey has been certainly one with bumps and bruises, but you know, I really do respect the fact that Isagenix is so giving and so generous with the leaders that are really out there helping others. So congratulations to you guys.
Thank you. Yeah, it really just feels like a lot of excitement after another with this company. You know, we just got back from Hawaii. We won a trip to Hawaii for the ISA Derby, and it was 5-star. It was just amazing. And there's another ISA Derby starting soon. So I'm sure that Roy and Alana and you guys will be forming a couple of teams, and they're taking 8 teams to Vegas in August, to Las Vegas. And there's no reason that you guys can't be in that top 8 teams. Yeah, I know how to do it, and I'm happy to help. So, yeah.
Well, and it's pretty good to have a mentor whose team finished first as the champion. And you guys earn that. And again, these contests are all structured in a way that if you build a business the right way, again by helping others and really developing leaders, you're going to win these contests. So they put these incentives together so that everybody can win, and you get rewarded on how well the foundation of how you build a business is going. And so it's almost a good gauge of how you're doing in the business, as if you're participating in these bonus pools and in these contests and all the rest of it, because they make it so that really they almost shape your behavior into doing what you need to do for you to be personally successful.
So we thought that tonight we'd just spend a little bit of time initially asking you guys what you need from us and how we can best help you. So if you can have a little think about questions, areas that maybe you're finding a little bit difficult, and that way we can make sure that we can be here to serve you, and we can ensure that we cover maybe areas that you're stuck at, wondering at, and we can go from there. So we can spend time talking about products, we can spend time talking about business, whatever's going to work better for you. So
and I really want to acknowledge you guys for taking time, because your time is your most valuable asset, and what you do with that time we take very seriously. So we're here as servant leaders to you guys. We're here for you. So we could be up here just talking away, but maybe missing some of the most important things that you guys really want to take out. So for this to be the best hour and a half or so of your life in terms of a training right now, what would make it that? What do you want to hear? What would help you in your journey so far? So just let us know, and Carrie Lynn will write some things down, because we're going to make sure that in that time we're going to get it all. That's our goal, is to hit every one of these topics.
Yeah. So Lisa, you've got something?
If I have someone that I think would benefit from Isagenix, and I approach them and say, oh yeah, that's a great idea, can you give me some more information? Shit, what am I doing?
Great.
Okay.
What do I say?
So
All right.
follow up, or connecting and follow up.
Oh, yep. Okay.
So connecting and follow up, okay?
Is it better to set it up as a team, or I'm already on Isagenix, so should I add Jared as a leg, or should we go at it as a team?
So working as a couple?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so how to best work as a couple? Yeah, that's great.
Corinne, did you have a question?
Yeah, thanks. I've got a person on each, my right and my left. We're looking at doing a lot of telephone cold calling, I suppose, is one of the things that we're doing, and we're also looking at possibly taking it to local farmers markets and things like that. What I would like to know, a good pitch or something that we can get somebody really interested in a very short space of time.
It's another connecting again, right?
You're connecting, but story, telling your story. That's a good one.
Lisa?
I also wanted to know about the commissions. Like, how does that work, and how do you explain that to someone?
How do you get paid? Yes?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a great question. It's really important. And I find that explaining that to people just really helps. It's like a light bulb moment for them. And they just get it. And they're like, oh, okay. You know, it's like Roy talks about setting goals. And if you don't know where you are and where you want to go, then how do you work out what the steps are to get there? So understanding that's very good. Anyone else got any
You guys are taking it too easy on us right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, things will come up probably through the night.
Yeah.
And there'll be some great discussions too. We've got some things lined up. But
I've got a lot of people I've been speaking to, but they're all concerned, oh, it's just shakes and pills, it's just a fad. I'm trying to explain that it's nutrition, it's a lot more than shakes and pills, but no one's giving me the benefit of doubt. They just close their minds and gone. How else can I get around it?
So am I hearing like, you know, that this isn't real food, or,
Yes.
you know, this is just a fad, or, you
That's
know,
mostly what they're saying, oh, this isn't real, it's shakes,
so
pills,
objections,
that's
yeah.
it. Oops.
Yeah, overcoming objections then, like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, great. Yeah, top notch, yeah.
Any other
Any others?
questions? Roy?
I got just one just about what's next, you know, that would be like at the end, what's next? What's next?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sure you'll cover that anyway, what's
Yeah.
next?
You mean after a 30-day program?
No,
What's
after
next?
this,
Oh, for
tonight, you know,
everyone?
what would be the next best plan?
or next steps.
You know, like come to the, like we've got the Wednesday night coming up next week, there's obviously the conference thing.
Yeah, next steps.
All that good stuff.
Yep. And Paul?
Yeah, just a lot of the people I've spoken to seem scared of the network marketing side, and I don't know how to approach it or how to explain it better, because the first thing that comes out is Amway, I don't want to touch it sort of thing. So trying to explain it to get them off that, not necessarily off it, not to get away from it, but to explain it in a better way rather
Yep.
than in a scary way that they're scared of the network side.
That's a great question.
Yeah, it's a
So this
great-
one's going to be covered under objections as well, but I'll
put-
put a little slash for network
network
marketing.
Yeah,
Yes.
put network marketing there, that's a big one, yeah.
That was me. My mum and dad just taught me that Amway people annoyed their friends, and that was my whole understanding of network marketing, and that's all I wanted to understand. So yeah, we can talk about how I've had quite a few light bulb aha moments around why it's actually such an amazing business model, and now I can convey that to people, and it makes such a big difference so quickly. Yeah.
Sort of just following on from that about not hassling your family and friends, how do you talk to other people that you don't know? Where do you get them from?
Okay, that's fantastic, and we'll probably cover that in connecting. Is there anything?
How about
more
developing
specific?
your list?
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Having a memory jogger would have been really great. Top 100 list and stuff, yeah, that would be good to talk about.
Yeah.
Looks like a great,
That's a good one.
great lineup.
Good start. Any more? Yeah, Lisa?
A lot of questions, yeah. All right, approaching professionals. There is a whole thing on approaching professionals, but I'm still not confident with that. I don't know if you can kind of-
Approaching professionals?
Yeah, like physios and more like personal trainers.
Yeah. Yep.
I think that'd be good, but...
Hopefully we'll
yeah.
get you to Celebration. I know somebody who's going to be on stage talking about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Personal trainer, okay, so approaching professionals, yeah. Doctors, personal trainers.
I've got my doctor and my chiropractor, but I'm not sure.
Sorry, I've got my doctor and my chiropractor who are really interested, but I'm not sure what to give them or how to actually elaborate. Yeah.
Yep,
great tools.
that's a great question and a really common question. Yep.
And we have a practitioner in the room.
How to treat it like a business instead of just maybe like a sideline hobby, and what can I do to really up my business?
Up the ante,
Yeah,
really get it moving.
That's a great question.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, love it.
Okay, well that's a good start, and if you think of any along the way, we can just add them on the list and make sure we've covered off on everything. Okay.
So how do we want to approach this? Maybe.
So the first one we've got.
Well, I wonder if we, would it be okay if we share our story a little bit, just so you can kind of see where we came from, and we may find that just from sharing our story, we might touch on a couple of those things.
Sure.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, do you want a product story, business story? Does it matter?
Doesn't matter. Yeah, both.
Whatever. Okay, so maybe when we're talking to our audience, it's always, you got to find out what kind of story they're going to relate best to. So because I don't really know you guys, I'm just going to use a product story, if that would be okay, and maybe Sean could share a business story. You get to hear an example of some different ones. So before Isagenix, for me, I felt very overwhelmed. I was tired and exhausted all the time. I had 2 young children, and my husband worked away all the time, 3 out of 4 weeks. I don't know if anybody can relate out there, but I was just exhausted, and I found that I was reaching for the coffee and another cup and another cup and another cup just to get me through the day. And then by the end of the day, I'd fall into bed just to wake up and do it all over again the next day. And I thought, I'm too young to be feeling this bad, and I didn't see the light, and I almost felt like I could have been into a depression a bit, but it wasn't really clinically depressed. I didn't have that excitement anymore. And a good friend of ours introduced us to the products. And at the time, I didn't have a large weight loss goal, but I just didn't feel good. I just felt exhausted. And he said, this is going to help. This is going to just nourish my body, and just, he just wanted me to try it. And of course, if it didn't work, I could get my money back. So I was really excited. Well, I'll have to say I was a non-believer. I was a huge skeptic in the beginning. And then I thought, what do I have to lose? I'm going to try it, and I'm just going to see how it goes. And it was immediately, probably within my 3rd day, I just remember just feeling different. I just felt a little bit, had a little skip in my step again. I just felt like I had the energy in the day just, to be with my kids, and I wasn't just falling into bed. So by the time I did, some cleanse days in there, it was remarkable. I lost 7 pounds. I'm not sure how many kilos that is, but maybe 3 or 4 kilos. So it wasn't substantial, but I just felt, it was just inside the way that I was feeling. I just felt like I had energy, and I was just able to be more present, more focused in my business. I own my own business as a graphic designer, and it was just amazing. And I just had that, I felt like I could do it when you were gone for all that time. It was just, I can do this. And so I started joining some fitness clubs, running clubs, and I just remembered that before, my running was, I was too tired. But now on Isagenix, my recovery was so quick. My endurance was so much better. I started building lean muscle, and I just felt amazing. I just felt so much better than what I was before. And that took no time at all. So I started sharing this just with a few of my girlfriends, because I know they were struggling at the same time. And it was just so exciting to be able to do that with a friend, and seeing them go through the program and get some great results as well. And now that's what I do. I coach people how to get the best results and to feel amazing and have their health back. So.
Cool. And maybe add our disclaimer too, just so that.
Oh yeah, this is probably a really great story, or a thing to share at this point. But I know when Jen was talking, you're going to hear so many amazing testimonials from people all the time. They get onto the products, and they're going to have some sort of a transformation happen. But we have to be careful. Isagenix does not treat, diagnose, or cure, prevent any disease. Okay? So we've got to be careful with some of the words and the language that we use when we are sharing, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in detail. What it does do, and what I'm excited about, because this is what I experience, is you nourish your body. You put the right foods into your body, and your body truly is the miracle. It responds, and that's what mine did. And I didn't know. I thought I was eating healthy before. That's the crazy thing. But it was just, more coffee on top of the coffee. So what? I ate salads and, clean food, but it wasn't right. So I got my nutrition right, and the rest, my body came back into balance, and I just had, it was a miracle. So, yeah.
That's cool. And for me, before Isagenix, I was definitely stressed, overworked, overweight. About 30, well, I'd say for you guys, for us too, I don't know why we use pounds for some reason in Canada, but I was 15 kilos overweight. And as a former elite athlete, I was pretty embarrassed and ashamed of where I was at. I used to make jokes about, the farthest I would run is to the fridge to grab a snack. And, every time I said that, it killed me to say it, actually. I'd laugh, but I wasn't feeling very good about it. And one of my best friends, Kyle, introduced me to the product. He's a sports nutritionist and a practitioner in this city that we live. And he introduced me to the products, and I thought, yeah, I'll give that a go. He's super fit, and I trusted him, and I thought I'd get a product experience. And that was out when we got involved 4 years ago. And in that time, I was able to release those 15 kilos, just getting on a program. It took about, I would say, 2.5 months. In my first 11 days, I released 7 kilos, and I released a couple inches off my waist, like right away, which was pretty significant. And then after Isagenix, like since Isagenix, it's totally changed. I feel very blessed to have created a business that provided freedom for myself and my family. I'm no longer overstressed because I'm away from my kids. I get to walk them to school and from school every day. I get to take 6 weeks out and come to Australia and work with our beautiful friends and incredible team. And I pinch myself because this is what we do. 4.5 years ago, now I can say proudly that I'm a professional network marketer. 4.5 years ago, it would make me a little bit sick to even think about it. Because in that time that my buddy Kyle introduced me to the product, I said, Kyle, I'm not interested in the business. Don't talk to me about it. I'm a former high school teacher. I taught for 10 years. And then moved from that into formal sales with a gigantic pet food company. And in fact, I've developed my own dog and cat treat company, so I have a manufacturing business and time invested in real estate. So many of the things that you guys are working towards, very traditional business. And for Kyle to be speaking about this network marketing, it was okay for him, I guess, but don't talk to me. Because that's something that I'm not interested in. That's, a notch below the used car salesman, I think. And, I said some things that really offended him, I think. Although we were good friends, he let me have it. He was okay with that. And after being on the product and sharing with a few friends, a check arrived. And we started getting compensated for something I wasn't completely sure why. Because he had, I had shared with a few people, Kyle had taken care of them, but we had received a couple bonuses. And then it just started, there was something in my brain that was kind of like, okay, hold on, you're missing something here. So I made a commitment to myself to stop being ignorant and get educated. If this was so bad, why don't I learn about it instead of going on the beliefs of what my parents and other generations have told me about network marketing? Who asked the question about network marketing? Who was it again? Yeah. So Paul, you were asking that question. I'm there. I was that person. Don't talk to me. And but I believe that my bias was built on ignorance. It's what I had heard but didn't know. And being a business person, I decided to investigate. And I jumped in. Well, how do you get paid? Which we're going to talk about how we get compensated. And when I realized that we got compensated on the effort that we put into a business, as opposed to what our employer decided we were worth. Because I was working over 60 hours a week, and I was running a $64 million company, and I was compensated just enough to keep me there, but not enough to make me wealthy. You guys kind of relate to what I'm saying? The guy who was taking all the risks was golfing in Palm Springs. And I was running the company, like, what's going on here? There's something missing. And, I wasn't seeing my kids, and it just really started to get with me. And I see this vehicle that, one, I believe in health 3, I think creating healthy families, we had heard one day from an individual that was on Oprah Winfrey and just a real toxicity expert. And he gave us a stat that our children's generation, our 2 kids are 9 and 12. And our children's generation right now is the first generation of kids that aren't expected to outlive their parents. And we're sitting in the room going, that can't be. So what we realized is we had a vehicle that could actually have an impact on that for our own family. We had a vehicle in that we could actually help others, like basically provide an education so that people could make an informed decision. And if they made a decision to go with what we had, we would support that decision. It wasn't about selling, it was just about educating. And from there, the more people we helped, the more we got compensated. And I think that's the true reflection of the power of this business, is the more people you help, the more you get compensated. It's not, nobody's defining what you're worth, you define what you're worth. So yeah, you know, we committed to, once we learned about this, we committed a couple hours a night. Again, I was busy, time was an issue. But we said, we'll give up, you know, the nighttime TV a little bit and help support people through a program, 2 hours a night. And we did that for 4 years. And last May, well, Carrie Lynn and her efforts, and with my support in there as well and working the business, I retired from my job to do this full time. And it's been a really cool experience. And I say that because the 3 of us here have come from zero network marketing experience. We had no idea. But what's great, and what I'm sure you're experiencing and what we'll talk about, is that doesn't matter. Because you can fail forward, fall on your face, say the wrong things, get yourself back up, because we're all about providing service. And the more you want to help somebody authentically get healthier, or even build some wealth, the focus is on them. And the more you do that, you know, we just were able to create that freedom and continue to do the same. It just keeps growing and growing and growing. But our time in hasn't changed. It's still that couple hours a day. That to me is, you know, a perfect business opportunity. And that's where we've come to this point right here today. So.
Can I just add a tiny little bit,
Yeah.
Sean, to that? I think when Sean says, you know, the more people we can help, the more Isagenix compensates us for that. When I first started to have a look at it, I kind of thought, I did a bit of maths incorrectly and sort of went, I'm going to have to know like 4,000 people and tell 4,000 people about this product to ever make any money out of this. Like, no thank you. That's just going to take me forever. There's better ways to make money. And what I didn't realise is what Sean is talking about when he says the more people he can help is, I didn't know Sean and Kari Lynn. They didn't tell me about the products, but I'm included in the people that they've helped. So you only know so many people, and it's not about who you know. It might not even be about who they know, but it might be about who they know, or who they know, or who they know. And that's the power and the amazing part of this business model. So Sean and Kari Lynn have helped me so much, and that helps me, but it also helps their business as well. They haven't really helped me have a great product experience, but they've helped me learn about the business and been amazing mentors and leaders, and shown me how to. I'm just learning so much from them all the time. So yeah, just don't think you have to know 4,000 people like I did to start with, because you don't.
Yeah, it's really a team experience. There's lots of times when we start our own business and it's us and an office space or whatever it may be. It doesn't matter what the vehicle is, and we're responsible for building that. This is all about team. So, you know, everybody sitting in this room is on our team. Every time you order, or anybody that you enroll in orders, we get a percentage of that. But so does Jen, and so do you. You know, like, it just keeps going. So what's cool is that I only know certain people. And in 4.5 years, we've created freedom for ourselves. You know how many people we personally enrolled? Who has a guess? 10? Oh, a little better than that. Slightly better than that. 250? 1,000?
I'll give you a clue, a little starter. So John and I have enrolled 65.
65.
In 15 months.
Personally enrolled.
Yeah. So they're better than us.
They're on fire.
We've enrolled 110 people in 4.5 years. Does that sound like a big number? Our team is just under 5,000 people. So do you see the network marketing piece? But indirectly, our mission is to create healthy families. That's what we're all about. So at some point, we shared with 110 people. But there are a small percentage of those 110 people that also shared with people, and also shared with some people. If one of us didn't have the courage to open our mouths and share and help somebody get healthier, you guys may not be sitting here right now. Because the person that we enrolled wouldn't have had that conversation with Jen. And you kind of see what I'm saying? That's the power of network marketing. It isn't about what we have learned in our belief system, it's about people helping people. And the more I help create success in your lives, our success is a byproduct of your success. That's all it is. So you can dig into a team and really create success with other people. And it sounds a little bit, like, really? Really? That's what it's about. You take the focus off you and you put the focus on other people and help them be successful. That's what it's all about.
I wonder if it might be a good time to roll into the connecting piece, because it's, do you want to go
Sure.
there?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So you have this great vehicle and this great business plan, but how do you use it, and how do you meet people, and how do you connect with people, and how do you share, right? So you might have experienced your first personal experience, your transformation, you try some of the products, you feel amazing, but like you said in the back row there, you might feel amazing, you go to tell somebody and they just shut you down right away. And I just wanted to share one of our, in the beginning with Sean and I, when we decided that we're going to share, because we were pretty much closet users for the first little while, but when we really decided that, this is good, we've got to let everybody know, and we started getting bits of information, and we just started, like, every time we got information, we'd be running, telling everybody, and we scared, people were running, they were like, no, here they come.
Verbal vomit, I think, is what it was
called. Might not have been that bad, but, looking back, it was messy, and you can earn as you learn, because it wasn't pretty for us, but we learned, what didn't work. And then we started to learn what did work. And then we went to, other training events, and we got educated on just the power of connecting. And I think everyone who's in this room, you guys are all on this journey already. You guys are already there. You have everything you need right in here. I think for us, instead of doing all the talking, we were so excited. We wanted to tell everybody about the ingredients. We wanted to tell everybody about, if they don't do this, then this could happen and that could happen. And, so-and-so had these great results. You could too. What we ended up doing is probably offending a lot of people. Basically just, if I brought up a weight loss, this person, she had great weight loss success. They're thinking, what are you calling me, fat? So it was an art. You really had to know how to do your connecting piece. We have a 3-step process that we use, but just overall right now in a nutshell, the connecting piece is just about listening. Come from your heart. So when I love connecting, that's my favorite part of this business. It's because everybody has a story. Everybody has a struggle. And I'm genuinely interested. I want to know who you are and what's going on for you. And what I'm doing is I'm listening. I'm listening for the pain and the suffering. Not because I'm sadistic or whatever, but because I want to help. I want to know if this might be a fit for you. And it might not be. But if not this, then what? Maybe some of the people that I've met along my journey might be able to help you as well. So I listen. I ask questions and I listen. Yeah. So
We're just going to go as you're talking, if that's okay.
yeah, no, for sure. So connecting. Now we all do it different. There's been a few different questions about how do you connect with professionals. That might be different than how I'm connecting with somebody in the grocery store or while I'm traveling or with a friend, at my son's soccer game. So I'm going to let Jim maybe talk a little bit about connecting with professionals. But I'll share with you just a little bit about, if I'm connecting with friends, or people in the supermarket or traveling. So I'll take it with friends first. Friends and family, just bless them because they get it all. I mean, we get so excited. They're our first go-to people. They're the closest people around us. And we really think it can make a difference for them. And I don't know if your families are anything like my families, but they're the hardest people to get interested in doing this program because they already knew it all. They are, I was just looking and going, but I can help. I have something. So once you got through the family and they said no, and then, I ran to my best friend and I just said, you got to do this. She said no. I mean, it really took a big part of me away. I just thought, I am terrible at this. Why isn't anybody listening to me? But what I did then is just like, as I'm in the grocery store in the lineup. The very first thing is just be aware of who crosses your path in a day. It's amazing if you just have a little eye contact and a smile. You never know. Just that smile alone is connecting. And there's nothing attached. I don't have an agenda. I'm not trying to recruit them. I'm really just trying to connect with people. So we have this task of, why don't you go out and just connect with 10 people without any attachments. Like, just see if you can make a difference in their day. And don't make it about Isagenix, but just go out and just be of service. And how can you help them? And when you go with that mentality, so if you're talking to your friend, you felt compelled to share with them because you've probably heard some pain and suffering that they've had. And you thought that it could make a difference. Some people are looking for it, some people are not. Some people are more comfortable complaining and not doing anything about it because then they would have to stop complaining. Other people are really open. Okay, who can help me? And those are the people we're looking for. So when I say it's not a fit for everybody, it truly isn't. Don't just assume that this product, that everybody's going to love it. So some people, it's just, they're not looking for it. So really, when you're connecting, just find out about them, find out,
How would you do that, Carrie?
Well, if I'm like an example in the grocery store or whatever, or what do you...
Yeah, so, because you guys are probably thinking, well, what do I say? Are you guys thinking, wait, what do I say? Is that what you're thinking? So, what would they say?
Well,
what's a key part of this whole thing and how you would open up a conversation?
Okay. Well, as I'm building rapport, so it could be a total stranger that I'm meeting for the first time. And I'm just, I might be in a lineup in the grocery store, and I'm just, maybe noticing something in their basket that maybe I've got as well, or I see that they've shopped organically, or whatever, or maybe they've got a suntan, and I'm just, hey, just get back from holidays. It doesn't matter, but it's just finding out a little bit about them, just really just connecting at their level. And then you're going to have some people, if they have eye contact back and they've got this great disposition, they're chatty back, those are the kinds of people that you could probably, engage in a conversation. Again, it doesn't have to be attached, you don't have to, but hey, you look like you've been away on holidays. Where did you go? And I went to Hawaii. Really? Well, that's one of my favorite places until I've been to Australia. Now I can say that. But, and whereabouts do you stay? And then so do you have kids? Because I love to travel, we bring our kids. And then we might get on the topic of children, and then it's amazing. In a short period of time, it might, I might just, I'm kind of going off topic, I know. I'm getting totally in this grocery store, wondering what's in the basket.
I don't know, I want to come grocery shopping with you.
I do. I take 2 hours when I go grocery shopping. It's just
you're right, I don't want to go grocery shopping with you.
No, but basically what I'm doing is, if we find a common theme, so if we come to I've had people just ask me at the almond station, why are you in the bulk food, why are you getting almonds? Like, why those kind of almonds? And I said, oh, it's part of my nutritional program I'm doing. What nutritional program are you doing? Oh, well, it's a health and wellness program. What do you do? Like, are you interested in those kinds of things? What do you do now? So I'm asking it back to them because I don't want to just go bleh again. And they're like, well, yeah, but I'm struggling. I'm not really sure what to do. I'll say, absolutely. It's pretty confusing. There's a lot of things out there. Tell you what, if you give me your name and do you have an email address? Like, I could send you some information on the stuff that I'm doing. I don't know if it's going to be a fit for you or not, but you could check it out, and then
okay, you got to stop.
Yeah.
Because that's really important. A real important step in the process that Carolyn went through, and we could probably miss it if we keep going, is that she stopped talking. And I think one of the big things that we learned is that we have this real desire to, at that point, give it all. I'm going to marry you right away before we even have a first date. And I think what we have to understand is we're building rapport, right? We're not grabbing their arms and making them ours. So Carolyn's come up with some really important things here, and this finding the common ground is really important because that's building rapport, creating a connection between two people, whether it be a tan or whether it be almonds in a basket, it doesn't matter. Could be, for us guys, it could be sports. You see the game on the weekend. I mean, it doesn't matter what that, or shoes or a handbag or whatever. It doesn't matter where that common ground comes from. But that's really important to establish rapport. And then ask, like Carrie Lynn, asking questions, get them talking. Because, even though we started by sharing our stories, people aren't interested in our stories. Whose stories are they interested in? Their own story. They want to tell their story. So let them. Let them tell their story because they're going to give you everything you need in terms of where the hurt is or where a fit is, if there is one. There may not be one and the conversation may not go any further, but they may share something where you feel like you could offer some support. So ask open-ended questions and just become a master of asking more questions. So you ask one question, they answer it. You ask another one from that, they answer it. You just keep going deeper and just make it about them. And people love it. Is that not a great, have you ever had a conversation with somebody that just, you really got to share and they just kept asking you questions, asking you questions, yeah, right? It feels great. So that when you find people that are really great connectors, it's not because they're trying to get you, it's because they're interested in you. So be interested, not interesting. There's a distinction there. Not a big change in the word, but if you're being interesting, you're talking too much.
And I just want to jump in for a second too. When we told our stories, so we each have our own personal experiences, but as you meet other people, they have stories too, So Jen's got a great story, Sean's got a story, you guys are going to have your own stories. So when you start sharing your stories, I might be talking to this person in the grocery store, and I might use your story to say, you know what, I was just working with a guy last week, this guy that I know, he was experiencing the same thing. I know exactly, well, what did he do about it? Well, this is what he did. I don't know if this is going to work for you or not. Like, I don't know if it's going to be a fit or if you're even interested. But if you want, I'll send you some information. So that's going to be the next step. But
I was just going to say, like, where Carrie Lynn, when she stopped, she said, can I have your number? Or email address or something where I can share it, because we've just established common ground and we've piqued curiosity. So the person's like, well, what do you do? And it's really important at that point to shut her down. You say, look, I'd love to tell you all about it, but right now it isn't the time. But what I'd like to, would you be open if you gave me your email address and phone number? I could send you a little bit of information, and if there's something in there that you think we should have another conversation about, we can set that up. I'm going to give you a call. What time would work for you? Tuesday. So you want to set the appointment, be specific, set the time and date. Get that appointment set right then and there. Don't wait. This is really key. And we still make this mistake. I'll still make this mistake. I'll get a great connect, fabulous, get their information. I'll send them information, but I haven't set a point to follow up. And then I'm kind of waiting to see if they'll respond or not. I want to set an appointment so I can follow up and say, hey, what'd you think? Right? So be very specific in this point where we set the appointment. So this is a great piece. Setting the appointment is really important. And then the follow-up is where we do, a presentation. I don't know if you want to.
Yeah, I just want to say too that all of this is permission based. So it's not me saying, I'm going to send you some information. I think you should do this program. I want this or that. It has nothing to do with that. You're listening, you're finding out, that alignment and where you could be of service to them, and you're asking them, would you be open to, reading something, or if I sent you an article or a link, or a video you can check out, would you be open? Because that's the permission. And if they say yes, I would love that, then okay, I'm going to need some contact information. And so it's permission based. If they say, no, I'm not really interested, just say, that's great, no worries. Like, that's okay too. It doesn't matter, but you'll know right away. And that just freed us up pretty much, with that. Setting the appointment, it's just, okay, great, I'm going to send you a link tonight when I get home. Now, I don't know, are you around in the next couple days? Like, what day can I follow up with? What time is good? I'm going to be working on Thursday. Is 4 o'clock good? I could just follow up with you and see if you have any questions about that video that I sent you. Oh yeah, well no, Thursday I'm working until 6, but then Thursday night I'll be home. Great, so what number can I reach you at? They'll give you their number. Is that the number you're going to be at on Thursday night? Because some people aren't going to be at that number. So you just be really clear and specific, and you just set that appointment. And then that's how that's completing that next day. That next day. Wow, tongue-tied.
Yeah, a little bit, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
And then of course when we go through, then it's make sure that we follow through on that. So if I've said I'm going to send you some information, send the information. You have to do that. And there's some strategies around what to send and who to. We can talk a little bit more about that later. But definitely, we love to send maybe a nice intro email, how we connected again, like just so you remember, a video link, maybe an article or website, that thing, depending on what the conversation was, and then follow up. You have to follow up. So if you send it out, don't just send it and expect that they're going to contact you. It doesn't happen sometimes.
That's what I admit that I'm not so good at. I find the connecting bit okay, and do you want me to send you some information? Yeah, that'd be great. And then I'm like, okay, I don't want to hassle you. I don't want to go there. But then I remind myself that David sent me 7 emails over a period of 18 months before I said yes. And what if he stopped after 2 or 1? Then none of us might be here, and I wouldn't be having this amazing ride that I'm on now. So I always just remind myself that he followed up 7 times. And you hear other stories of people in the company. I think Susan Sly, who's one of the top income earners in Isagenix, she was followed up, I think, 21 times before she said yes. And so it's just, it's not that no response doesn't mean no. No is not no until they say no. And so in an email, I'll pre-phrase it with, hey Simon, look, if you don't want to receive any more emails like this from me, please just let me know. I don't want to hassle you. Just not sure if my email went to the bottom of your pile or whether you have any questions. Just want to let you know I'm here if you need me. And that's a follow-up, or it might be a phone call, or however you prefer to contact them, or they prefer to be contacted. But yeah, there's no pushiness. It's just hey.
And if it is no, Jen, that's such a great point. And timing is everything. So it wasn't 18 months for you, and all of these emails later, the timing wasn't right for you the first time. But what we like to do as well is ask permission. So if it's no now, would you mind me following up with you in 3 months from now? Because maybe 3 months from now, you'd be in a better position to have a look at the information, whatever. Don't be afraid to ask if you can reconnect with them down the road. Also, if this is a no for them right now, is there anybody you might know that is looking for this? Don't be afraid to ask for the referral. It's just like, who do you know? Do you know anybody who might be looking? Because somebody is out there who is looking for these business opportunities, this product experience, and it's just maybe one person away. We just need to ask the question. The worst they're going to say is, you know what, I really don't think so. I don't know of anybody. Or, you know what, I've got this friend who'd be totally all over this. would you mind if you gave me his contact information and introduced us? So,
And one really powerful thing that I've learned is there's a certain number of these conversations between this being really difficult and sounding like an absolute pain in the butt process, and this becoming just a natural flow for you. And that might be 100 conversations. For me, it might be only 40 conversations for you. But if you want to be successful at Isagenix, you've got to get through that number of conversations. So you can do it in a week, or you can take 4 years to do it. And I say to people, why not just get out there and have them? Because one thing I can guarantee is that with every conversation it will become easier, and suddenly it's not this painful sounding process. I remember when I first heard this, I was like, oh my God, setting an appointment, I'm just not doing that stuff. Are you serious? It just sounds like they're trying to make me do stuff, and I just wasn't open to it, but it just gets so easy, and then you suddenly you're doing it and you don't even know you're doing it. If that makes sense. And there's a certain number of repetitions you have to complete to get to that point, and your number will be different than some people in your team.
I just want to say too about the no, like when you receive a no, because I think you're going to receive probably 9, what is the ratio, 9 no's to 1 yes. So be prepared for some no's. People, Jimmy Smith always talks about, he's the #1 income earner with Isagenix. He always talks about, they just don't know enough to say no. Like they said no now, but it isn't because no, it doesn't work for them. It's no, they don't know enough. So don't take it personally. It's at that time they were not maybe open to receiving the information, or it's just, so don't spend a lot of time on the no's, just next.
And I love what Michael Klaus says. Michael Klaus is training at Celebration this weekend, and some of you guys have probably listened to him a little bit and heard some of his stuff. And he says you can't say the wrong thing to the right person, and you can't say the right thing to the wrong person. So even though sometimes I feel like I'm sort of fumbling, what did I say? Or I might be talking to a doctor and thinking, oh, what are they thinking? And what am I saying? And I just think, this is either right for them or it's not. It doesn't matter what I say. As long as all I get to do is get their permission to send them a link to some more information, they're either going to jump at it or they're not. And that's hard to get at the start, but once you've had 100 conversations, you get these people who just go, oh yeah, tell me more, and then sign me up tomorrow, get me this stuff, and they're out there. It's just...
Jen, why don't you share? How would you share with a professional? So now that we're on the topic of connecting, and how would you go about that? How would you share with a doctor or a personal trainer? Like what would that look like?
I think that it's different depending on who the professional is. So one of my team is a real estate agent, and he had his blood test done before he did Isagenix, and 5 weeks later he had his blood test redone. And not that I'm saying that Isagenix created any changes in his blood test, but he says he didn't change anything else other than added Isagenix in. And he lowered his cholesterol and he increased his vitamin B levels, and so he said to his doctor, look at this, what do you think? And the doctor said, well, what have you done? And he lost 7 kilos and he looked fantastic. So he said, well, I just did this program. And the doctor said, well, show me more. And so it just went from there. And so now he goes to all the doctors around town and all the physios and all the chiropractors, and I don't know if it's because he's a real estate agent and he's just used to talking to different people, but what he's shown me is if I'm a physiotherapist and I get a little bit nervous about talking to other physiotherapists, it's my preconceived thought process about how they're going to react. And Nick doesn't have that, because it's just what he does. He just talks to people all day, every day. He doesn't care whether you're a doctor or a garbo. He'll sell your house for you. And it's the same with Isagenix. He doesn't care what you do. You still are going to benefit from these products in his eyes. So he takes that preconceived, so it's not them that has the preconceived preconceptions, it's us. Yeah, so it's the same conversation really that you have no matter who people are or what they do.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, I think we have a question back there as well.
What if someone has a few medical conditions? How do you judge if they can go on the program or not? Or does it matter?
I didn't hear the question.
If someone has a few
Medical
medical
issues?
conditions, how do you judge whether they can go on the program or not?
Use your team. So that's the whole piece about using our team. We don't have to be the experts. There's so many tools and so much support available that, you're not a doctor, right? And as you're coming through and you're experiencing some of those things, don't be afraid to say, you know what, I'm not sure about this, but I have my partner who I can get on the phone with you and you can ask her the questions and we can get real comfortable what program or how much of it you can do. Because when we start playing doctor, we can get ourselves into some trouble. So really leave it to, let your team kind of wrap their arms around you a little bit and support those types of things. Is that okay?
Yeah.
I mean, because there's so many different things that can be a factor in that.
And Isagenix has a great resource they have a couple of daily phone calls with Dr. Ina, and you can call her and just get some great advice from her as well. And a lot of the Facebook groups are great to post in. There's like 20 different Facebook groups, and there's some really key people in sort of overseeing some of those groups. So often you can get a really good gauge of whatever that particular medical condition is and what the proportions or contraindications may be. Yeah, but at the end of the day, what you can always say to people is you should take this list of product ingredients to your doctor and tell them that you don't ask their permission to do a program because it's going to be unfamiliar to them and their doctor's likely to say no because he doesn't want to take the risk of recommending something that he's unfamiliar with. But you can coach them to say to their doctor, I really want to do this program. Can you tell me, will there be any interactions with any particular medications I'm on or with my thyroid condition or my whatever? Yeah.
Yeah, that's great, Jen. Did you have a question as well?
I do.
Do you want the microphone? That's right behind you there.
Thank you. With the Connect system on a face-to-face basis, that's very good. What if you cold calling? What would your opening line be? Because you're in totally unfamiliar territory.
So I've done quite a bit of cold calling, and I found when I first started, I forgot that I wasn't trying to get a yes, I'll sign up now and I'll buy a 30-day program. So then I remembered that all I wanted to do was get their permission to send them more information. Yeah, so what I talk about, it depends on who you're cold calling. So are they a beautician? Are they some random phone number out of the phone book? Are they a personal trainer? Are they an accountant? So I guess you need to have a reason for why you think Isagenix might be beneficial to their business or to their health, and then just can ring, and the conversation is going to have to vary depending on the reason that you called that person. Does that make sense? So you're going to say a different thing to a beautician than you are to a personal trainer.
Fair enough.
Slightly. Yeah.
Fine.
And you know what, a great part about that, just shifting trying to get the yes and the sign up to would you be open to receiving information, so it's permission based. We were on holidays in Kauai last year and I just I picked up some business cards and I met this wonderful lady. She wouldn't remember me, but I remembered her. And a year later I found her card and I thought, I'm just going to reach out and call. And my opening line was, I'm a complete stranger to you as far as you're concerned. You won't remember me, but I remember having a wonderful conversation with you. And you really inspired me and my daughter. She was an artist, and we just had a really great connection there. But she meets so many people. I wasn't expecting her to remember me. So I said, you might be wondering why I'm calling you. And I just shared with her that we loved it so much, and we just really wanted to come back to the island. And I'm looking for people who would be open for a business opportunity in health and wellness. And I was wondering if you would be open to me sending you some more information about my products and my company. And maybe you know somebody, and maybe you would be able to get them in touch with me. So it was a total, reach. And she said, send me the information.
The would you be open question is really a key point in this, because people are very reluctant to say, no, I'm not open to something. It's easy to say, no, I'm not interested, but no, I'm not open it's a much harder thing to say, for people to say. Yeah, so it's a great question, and I find I don't get a lot of no's to the would you be open to me sending you some more information. Sure.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
You guys, in the spirit of making sure we get everybody's topics addressed, we should probably look at going on, but are you guys, do you see this in terms of, I think we've actually touched on a number of things here, and just this third step here, this follow-up, really it's all about using the tools, like using the things that are available. Isagenix has spent, I believe their website is a $40 million website. And everybody gets it for, I think your membership is $49 for a year. I mean, it's just crazy. So, you have a lot of tools that you wouldn't even know you have. For example, your support there. There's a couple of tools that I would suggest heavily that you write them down, because these are the ones that we use. And we use it in our follow-up process. So for example, we've set the appointment, we found our common ground. We're going to know, is this person an athlete? Does this person have a little bit of weight to lose? Is this person a business interest? Where is their interest? And there's a website called isamovie.com. Have you guys all been on it? How many people have been on it? Okay, so if you not, this has now there's extended videos on your own personal website. They run longer. Somebody's attention span typically is about 3 minutes to 5 minutes. You'll notice that Isagenix is starting to create more and more videos in that 3-minute range, because that's how long you can capture somebody. Their previous videos, 12, 15 minutes, too long. So you can go and you can find something for an athlete, you can find somebody for weight loss, you can find somebody who just wants to cleanse and wants to understand the philosophy. You can understand, or you can see something there about enterprising women and creating a small home-based business for moms at home, or other business testimonials. There's just so much there. Really get acquainted with that. And so we'll send typically one video. Have a look at this if you see something, because we kind of know what they're going to be interested in. If you see something, let's set up another, let's have that other conversation. I'm going to call you as we talked about at this time. Done. So use these tools, and then we're going to set up that appointment and have that presentation. Okay, we can talk a little bit about the presentation. Isaproduct.com here this is a website that how many of you have been on isaproduct.com? Okay, a few less. Okay, so this has product ingredients, so you can actually go in, you'll find some of those people who need to know, but most people don't need to know. 95% of people just want to know the product works.
There's some allergy tables and
things like that. But also that coaching support that Jen talked about. You can actually get the numbers to call into Dr. Ina. She's a clinical nutritionist. Why would we want to know? Why do we want to be those people? There's somebody that they can talk into, and that's really going to be important for your business to grow. Because if you're a master coach, which is what we did, we spent all our time coaching and knowing everything. We can't duplicate that. And all of a sudden, I enroll you, and you feel like you need to be me. And what did Sean say? I don't know, right? I can't do this. And what do people? They quit because they can't do it. We need to be duplicatable and use the systems. That's why Isagenix has spent so many millions of dollars supporting us. But we thought we could do it better. We were smarter. And as we spun our tires and didn't go anywhere, we finally went, all right, well, maybe there's a clue here. We kind of bought into that system, and things have changed. Isagenixhealth.net, health-related topics. I have a thyroid issue. What do I do? Well, Go on, send them to the website. Plug in thyroid issue. You'll find articles that come up.
And
Pregnant.
All of those articles are referenced, which I really like from a science and research background, and from external sources as well. So, and then you can go and check out those references if you want further information from that.
Jen has referenced an individual named Michael Klaus, and Michael Klaus is here on the Gold Coast this weekend. He's recognized as one of the top 20 network marketing trainers in the entire world, very sought after by all the top companies. And he is one of the best people I've ever seen train on stage. And he's on our team. You know, he's on your team, which is cool. And he's created a site for us called, and it's still one in process, it's going to evolve as we continue to play with it and learn, but it's called everyonestartshere.com. So no matter what, please write that one down, because this is the one that we have every one of our new business associates go to, and it's in complete A to Z how to do this. It has all the support, step by step. So a lot of these things that we're going to cover off in here, it's there. It's gold. Absolutely fantastic.
And it really doesn't take a lot of time to work through that.
No.
And that's probably one of the first things I do when in the next week or so, is work through that, and it'll just be like, oh yeah, that's cool.
So I think we've got the 3-step system down. You guys were talking about a few objections, and I know that there's some product questions, right? Right? There's a few objections there. Would it be valuable for you guys to see a little bit about how we can shape a part of the presentation to handle some of those objections? Because what I find is if you hit them in the head, you know they're coming. If you hit them in the head, you can actually avoid a lot of the objections. They just don't come up. Would that be okay? All right, because we use, again, another duplicatable system for identifying and having this presentation. We cover off a couple topics. So I don't have the presentation for you, but what's cool is I can actually go through five steps. Again, just something that we can recreate where you can hit the hot topics and have that conversation around how to address some of these hot buttons. Carolyn, do you want to?
Yep.
Can you maybe do this? Well, so just maybe presentation at the top, and then we'll just go through each of the steps, and then we can support each other. So one of the first things that I talk about is, you know, I've sent them the video now, so they've seen it. Now I'm calling them to say, well, you know, Lisa, how did you we had that conversation, get reacquainted, find that common ground. I sent you the video. What do you think? So, you know, what did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? Where are you at with it? So we're going to have that conversation. And we're going to see where that goes. And one of the things that I really want to find out is, specifically, Lisa, what are your 5 health goals? What 5 things would you like to see out of this? Because the reason why there's 5, please. The reason why there's 5 health goals is because what do you think the number one thing people are going to say? Weight loss. Okay? Absolutely. But our focus is on a result there that's external, like weight loss. But what we've learned is that we're in a diet mentality. People can lose weight, but it may not be healthy because we're starving ourselves. And we actually don't lose weight the right way. We lose a lot of lean muscle, and we're not really taking care of the body fat that we have. What we know about Isagenix, and I'll talk about it in a second, is that this is a system that actually works to release the body fat and put on lean muscle. So what will happen is a lot of times people will hit a little plateau, or they won't get the results they're looking for, but they're losing inches. What that's telling you is they're losing body fat, which is actually what our goal is, and putting on lean muscle. If you just went on the scale alone, you'd be disappointed. Wouldn't you? You go through all that work, 30 days, I lost 5 pounds, my goal is 20 pounds. Like, you lied to me. This is terrible. We've had that. We've had a woman, our enrolling sponsor, Kyle, patient, came in, lost 5 pounds, really upset, but she took her measurements like she was told, and once Kyle was through with analyzing the measurements and doing a body fat analysis, what he realized in those 30 days is she actually released 20 pounds of body fat and gained 15 pounds of lean muscle. She had released she had 3 dress sizes down. But mentally, it wasn't working because the scale didn't tell us what it was supposed to. What are you talking about? I've been working hard. I feel great. So we go beyond that, and we want to, you know, energy, sleep, digestion, mental clarity, all these things, like trying to, you know, what else would you, how do you sleep? You know, are you, what do you know, how are your workouts? Or if you're, you know, you're athletic, you're in good shape, you're not going to have a weight loss story. So there's going to be something else you're looking for, right? So you want to identify those 5 things. And then once we've established that ground of an understanding for me of what you're looking for, I'm listening. Again, I'm asking lots of questions. I'm listening. I'm storing in. Okay, so what is it that you're looking for? All right. We're going to start talking into a presentation. The first part of the presentation, number 1, is the health crisis. Would you agree that we are going through one of the worst health crises known in history for mankind? Would you agree? So we're dealing with what types of things? Diabetes, obesity, heart disease, malnutrition, so bankrupt food, toxicity in the environment. You know, these are things that, because of the essence of the way the population is going, the way we have to mass produce foods, it's just a function of reality. We can't avoid this. It just is. But we can do something about it. I mean, our kids are getting heavier and heavier. Our environment's getting more and more toxic. So what are we doing about this? Our food is more and more bankrupt. They actually say that if you took an apple from 1969, you would need 12 apples today to get the same nutritional value. What? It's crazy. You know, cancer rates in the last 10 to 15 years have gone from 1 in 15 or 1 in 20 to 1 in 2. Every other person is expected to develop cancer. What is going on? I mean, we seem to go along in this world and just scratch our heads and not really pay attention to what's happening. But the evidence is there. The things that kill us now, the top 6 things that kill us these days are all preventable. Yet it continues to be on the rise. So there's a health crisis. Can you guys identify with that? And the reason why we ask and really talk about it is we want to set the picture. This is what's happening. Don't shoot the messenger. This just is. But where is Isagenix difference? What's the Isagenix difference? What do we do that we feel sets us above the rest? And what the difference is Isagenix has created a system. All right? Isagenix has created a system that helps the body release toxins and impurities and creates lean muscle in its place. So it releases those toxins and impurities that we just identified as a part of the health crisis and creates lean muscle, and guess what else it does as a side benefit? It helps us release toxic fat. Toxic fat because our bodies naturally store the toxins where? In our fat. For us blessed thin individuals who don't have a lot of body fat, man, we got those toxins all over the place. We still have them. It's not like we don't. Just because you're thin and fit doesn't mean you're immune to toxicity. I mean, think about this. Our body's a filter. Right? So the Isagenix difference is it releases those toxins and impurities and helps build lean muscle. Now, the thing that makes Isagenix so great is, you know, and I look at this as a little bit of a cliche, but all natural. But what that means to them, no stimulants, nothing synthetic, no artificial sweeteners, colors, anything. Nothing genetically modified. That's pretty prevalent. Nothing genetically modified. They incorporate all the minerals, over 200 minerals, vitamins, trace minerals, the things that we don't get in our foods. Trace minerals don't exist in our foods. That's why supplementation is so big now. But this is a food that has all of those things in there. We have New Zealand whey, which is the most pure form of whey on the planet. You guys are just neighbors. It's a little more relevant in Canada. They're like, what? Where's New Zealand? But when we get to talk about New Zealand is that no industry. Their cattle are hormone-free, no antibiotics, free range, grass-fed, only milked in season. That's significant because what happens is when you extract away from those cows, what we call happy cows, you get the purest form of whey, which if you look at the articles by New Zealand's very own Dr. Michael Colgan, who was the head of the Australian Olympic Committee for Nutrition back in, I can't remember when, but he's one of the world's leading researchers in protein. has identified the group of dairy farmers from New Zealand as producing the #1 whey on the planet, and that #1 whey is the most readily used by our bodies of any protein that exists. And when he joined our company a year ago, he found out that we're using that same whey that he identified in an independent study back in the 50s. Isagenix uses that whey. He joined right away. So these things, looking at mechanisms to deal with stress and the environment. So those are things that really set us apart from other companies out there. There's a lot of companies that have a great shake product, a great juice product, a great supplement, whatever it may be. They specialize in these areas. We don't do that. We have created a system that works together to take care of all those issues that lead to these, the things that are impacting our health. So when we look at these products, there's 5 pillars of health. Okay, so there's 5 main pillars. And I guess, how many of you guys, anybody have not had an experience with the products at all? Are you going to grab those, Jen? Sure. Nobody? Okay, so how does this work? Because you guys are familiar. You guys all have a good experience? Decent experience? So working on experience? How many people, who has been on the products for more than 3 months? Okay. 2 months? First month? All right, cool. First 30 days. All right, awesome. So how does this work? First product is the Cleanse for Life. So Cleanse for Life, I could get into a lot of science over all this, but the fact is I'm not going to. I used to blah, 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 all over everybody. We don't need to know. We know how it works and that it works. So here's the language that I use in a presentation. 4.5 years later, when I realize I don't need to know it all, and neither do they. Cleanse for Life, if we think of our body as a house, the Cleanse for Life, this is a full body cellular cleanse. So it's not one of those cleanses that starves your body and just just helps, your liver or your colon or, whatever it may be. This is a full body cellular cleanse that works because it actually bombards and nourishes your cells. So we're flooding the body with nutrition, based with aloe vera, and then we're just going to scrub those cells clean. It's like this deep spring cleaning. And we're getting rid of, grabbing those toxins and we're tossing them out. We're saying, get out of here. But we've really stripped everything down to a base layer. We do these cleanses, as you guys have experienced, optimally 2 days back to back, because we know that 48 hours for cleansing is the optimal time for cleansing, getting the best responses for cleansing. 48 hours, all the research shows it. Okay? So that's what the Cleanse for Life does.
And
Jen, what's your...
any longer than 48 hours of cleansing, and we know that our body starts to catabolize our lean muscle tissue, which is exactly what we don't want. And that's also why we don't exercise on cleanse days, because if people go on exercise on cleanse days, they're in such a calorie deficit that their body has to go to their lean muscle tissue for fuel, which is again exactly what we don't want.
Yeah, absolutely. Isoline shake. So what do we do after we cleanse? We rebuild. So we've stripped everything down, got rid of all the toxins. This is where the magic happens, because within 48 hours of cleansing, that 48 hours afterwards is the optimal time to build lean muscle. And no matter if we're 18 or if we're 80, we all want to build lean muscle, right? Because that's what keeps us healthy. That's what keeps us going. A heart is a muscle. So the shake rebuilds the structure up, gives strength to the walls. It has that New Zealand whey we talked about. It has over 72 ionically charged minerals, vitamins, trace minerals, as well as being a perfectly balanced meal. It has 7 digestive enzymes. Why is that important? Because when you take in these calories, you absorb over 85% into your body. If you have an organic chicken breast, rice, veggies, and a salad, the cleanest food that we could actually put in our body, the best we could do, probably about a 30% digestibility. About that. So 30% of our calories will actually get into our body. Over 85% because we have 7 digestive enzymes to help the process out. Okay? So 99.9% lactose free. So people who struggle with that can take these shakes not only because it's almost all lactose free, but because we've also included lactase, which is the enzyme that our bodies don't produce when we can't take in the lactose. So those people that struggle in that area typically can take these shakes no problem. Okay?
And just to add in a little bit there, so occasionally some people will have a little bit of diarrhea or constipation in that first week or two, and they just need a little bit of coaching to understand why, and it's usually just that their body's just not used to this quality of protein. They're usually giving themselves no protein all day, this great big chunk of steak at night time, of which they can only use a tiny little amount, and suddenly you're giving them this beautiful protein all through the day. So sometimes it's as simple as having a half a shake, you know, for a couple of days, and then going on to a full shake and just easing them into it a little bit. So, Gerard.
If you're doing heavy weight training, do you recommend doubling up on your shake?
There's an excellent side product to this called Isopro for you guys. It's just it's pure whey protein. And what you would do is you'd take your shake and you just add the grams of protein that you need to take to it. So what we would do is we would add a scoop to our shake, and you'd get a 38 to 42 gram protein intake, which is what you'd want.
And there's a lot of research showing that nutrient timing is really important as far as lean muscle development and training. So the 2 times of day when that shake is just so readily absorbed by our cells is first thing in the morning when we've got an empty stomach, and the other time is within 30 minutes of a workout. So you want to be taking that shake, you know, while you're still sweating, even though you've had a shower but you just can't stop sweating, you want to be getting that shake into you at that point. So if you can pick 2 times a day when you want to get that shake into you, that's it. And then you can plan the rest of your meals around that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And very, very important information that's catchy, especially in our time with all the issues that are out there for digestibility. No gluten, no wheat, no barley, no soy. So there was a little soy lecithin in the products before, which is actually a good ingredient, but because of all the market, people are scared out there, and soy is a real detractor. There's no more soy in there at all. And in fact, they've added more of the whey protein concentrate.
I'm just going to say what I love about the shake too is super convenient. Kids love it. Like our kids, they each have their favorite little recipe, and they make their own. One loves chocolate, one loves vanilla. It's versatile. It's a full meal replacement in just 30 seconds. Like literally, it's the perfect food for us and our family as we're running out the door in the morning. And I don't have time to get all this breakfast stuff together. They each make their shake, and it's so convenient. And I know that they're off to a great start in their morning. So
I think it's really important to note what Carrie Lynn's saying and what Jen has done, because you'll notice that there's little differences between all 3 of us, right? And it's totally cool. Because we're doing this for you right now because we're kind of mimicking a presentation, and that's why it's valuable to kind of take a little extra time here, because this is what a presentation looks like. It'll look a little different. And sharing, it's not important necessarily about all the specific ingredients, but what does Carrie Lynn like about it? You know, what does Jen like about it? What's important? What's the little nugget that she has, right? So take note of that, because people relate a lot more to how am I feeling? You know, how does this make me feel? It's convenient. Oh, I'm busy. Right? Ionic Supreme is my favorite product. It's a distressor. Again, remember, I was working long hours, maybe not sleeping very well, low energy. Ionic Supreme is a product that actually has, and this is a little technical, but it has adaptogens inside this. And adaptogens are basically herbs, botanicals, that go into your body and adapt to whatever environment or wherever that stress resides. So it's the mental stress. When we're stressed out, we release a hormone called cortisol. Cortisol is not very good because when it's not used up, we pool it as fat. Women here, men right here, right? And it's troublesome. Ionic Supreme helps regulate that. Okay, and Ionic Supreme can be taken just as little as an ounce a day in the morning.
That's 30 meals.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, 30 mils. And yeah, I know, it's disappointing. We're on the metric system, but anyway. USA, they're our big brother, right? So they kind of force our hand a little bit. And it takes away that stress. So for people who, deal with a lot of business stress at home, stress with finances, and their lives are just in chaos, it can help calm them down, right? Let them sleep. Give them a little more energy. For athletes, it helps recover faster, work out longer, because it takes the physical stress away. So that's what, yeah.
That's my favorite as well. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
I drink it all day long. But on all the programs, it's take it first thing in the morning. Is there any challenge with drinking it more often than that?
Absolutely not. In fact, for people who are very stressful, we'll recommend that they buy an extra bottle and have one in the morning, one at night. For athletes, we have one in the morning, one post-exercise. No, you fill your boots, yeah. Yeah, Dr. Colgan, I believe, Carolyn, if I'm not mistaken, because we get to hear, he has like 5, right? At least.
No, with his athletes, he was doing up to 8.
Yeah, 8 ounces a day, or 240 mils a day.
So just going to sleep, that's actually a very good thing, because I was concerned about that. I thought it might just get me more excited.
Yeah, well, you know, if somebody was having trouble sleeping, I would recommend taking this at night, giving it a try, because maybe that's where the stress is. You have that brain that can't shut off, so it'll work its way in there.
But that it has to be taken just before bed, so not before bed and then go sit on the computer and figure out how to do my accounting, because then it's going to wake you up and help you with that. So you want to be in bed mode, then have your Ionics, lay down, go to sleep.
And just a note on that, Jen, too, and Sean, what we've learned over time, some people can take it at night and it does keep them up. So it's really, your body is the test. You've got to try it out. We take ours in the morning for sure to start our day off. Every morning I replace the Ionics with my coffee, so that's what I take in the morning. But you know what? I love making a bit of a tea at night, and I'll have a little Ionics, a little warm beverage, and it helps me sleep. So it's just one of those things you need to test for yourself.
Okay, awesome.
Is the powder any better than the liquid?
Not anymore. So they came out with a new powder that was 2 to 3 times more potent than the old version. I don't know if, do you guys have the new Ionics?
The new liquid?
Yeah.
Not yet.
Okay, well soon you will have the new liquid. So right now the powder is a little more potent. It'll soon be the same. Yeah. But the taste is a little different.
I always have a powder, and I like the liquid better taste, but I have a powder in my cupboard for travelling.
Well, yeah, that's why I asked, because big bottle to travel with.
Yeah, the powder's great for travelling, yeah.
So I'm gonna rip through the last 2 pillars, just so that, Jen, you have time to take us through our road to success, because that's going to be the last piece of the puzzle in a presentation where we show how you get paid. Okay, and add that component to it. And I don't want to shortchange you guys on that piece. So the essentials for men or women are basically gender-specific multivitamins. And what these do, because a lot of people say, well, I've taken all these other, like the 3 pillars that you just told me, they have all this stuff. Why do I need to take this? Again, it's a system. John Anderson has created this so that this fills in the gaps. You know, fills in those gaps that we need, specifically for men or specifically for women, specifically for men. Okay, so I like to just use that analogy again. We've rebuilt the structure, we've taken the stress away. This just fills in the little holes that maybe we're using or not quite getting. Okay, so very important. And then product B is the 5th pillar. And this is a game changer that really we're still not fully talking about. But what this is designed to do is basically, let's call it, you know, the roof of our house. You know, you have a 10-year roof, right? You go kind of with just the, yeah, now we're talking about a 25-year roof. We spent the extra money, we want the thing to last, you know, a lifetime, as opposed to just, you know, we'll get to that in 10 years. Very raw science. You guys are all familiar with it. We have chromosomes in our cells, and the chromosomes, if you just picture them, all the chromosomes that you have little ends, and if you think about your shoelaces, and the end of the shoelaces, that little plastic bit, called telomeres. And as we age, they're in every single cell that we have, right? And as we age, those telomeres get short. When those telomeres get short, bad things happen. Our cells age, okay? Things can make that shortening process faster, like smoking, drinking, obesity, all these stress, all these different things can rapidly shrink these telomeres. This supports healthy telomeres. That's as much as we can say, but there's an independent study going on right now in Spain at the leading cancer research in the world with humans that haven't been exposed to Isagenix, because our systems are at an advantage because of the cleansing and everything that we do to uptake what's in here, and they're just finishing up. And when that comes out, this could be by itself a game changer.
We've actually just been told, Sean, by corporate that Australia's about 6 months away from having a little saliva test that you can do before you start taking product B, and then after, and it can show you how it measures the telomeres and relates it to aging, and they're just figuring out it needs to still go to Spain or the US to be processed, so they're just figuring out how to do that in the right time frames, but we're about 6 months away from having that, which is just proof that it works.
Yeah, and just know that, again, as your telomeres get short, bad things happen. You know, that's where our disease and different issues come into play. So short telomeres
I messed that up. Okay, don't look at that.
But anyway, those
basically, I was wondering in compliance if I could actually say short life, long life.
Yeah.
So I started rewriting it. You get the point.
It's good, yeah. Corporates in town. You got to be careful, Carolyn. So does that address? You know, I know that you guys have some objections there, and I guess the last piece before we get into, because there's always going to be you're going to have number 4 is, what's the number 1 objection that you guys would say that you get? Can't afford it. Thank you very much, Denise, right here. You got it. Can't afford it. So what we do is we hit that. I hit that right now. I've just talked about the health crisis. I've talked about the difference. I've talked about, you know, we're talking about your goals. I'm getting a lot of yeses. Yeah, that sounds really great. Now, how much would you typically spend on a breakfast and a lunch? How much would you typically spend? I don't know. I don't live here in Australia. $20 combined? Yeah, so $10 each? About 30? Is that about right? Would you say, is that reasonable? Okay, so if I could show you a way where, you know, you could redirect your spending. We're not putting money on top of. If I could show you a way to redirect your spending, the money you're spending already, breakfast and lunch, we're going to shop not at the stores or the restaurants that you're shopping at right now, but you're going to put a portion into your Isagenix store and a portion into your other store, because you're going to continue to eat healthy and do your thing. But I could save you money. Would you be interested? Because for about, down here, at home it's about 5, here's about 7. $7 a meal is what your packs are going to cost. So if you're looking at replacing 1 meal a day, you're going to look at about $210. You replace 2 meals a day, you're going to look at $420. So now what I've done is, I'm not saying, oh yeah, 420 bucks, here you go, sign on the dotted line, and people go, because we don't go to the grocery store, buy our 30-day supply of groceries, lay down our credit card and say, yeah, give it to me. We get eaten away about 5-6 times a week. I do anyway, I go in there all the time. And we don't notice it. But with this, we're redirecting our spending. Okay, so that's the piece, redirect. We're not putting it on top of, because that's people's fear. I got to buy all my groceries and then I'm going to spend another $420. That's not true. In fact, you find as people get healthier, maybe they cut out one of those $5 coffees during the day, plus they're eating a little cheaper, they're going to save money. So doesn't eating healthier and saving money, doesn't that make a little sense? So we've addressed that objection right there, and I can't afford this. And then what we do is we introduce the packs. Number 5 is introducing the packs. And we find the pack that's right. So, you know, I'll show packs and I'll say, okay, so what pack is, you know, what pack do you like? You know, what do you think is going to fit your goals the best? They'll tell me, okay, sounds good. I'm not saying, so, you know, you think you want to, you know, what pack? You're going to do this, right? You just told me you agree with everything, right? The chances are you're going to do this, so I just show the pack. And then if there's another further objection, I still can't, you know, I can't afford this or whatever it may be, there's another way. Because if you can't afford the $7, maybe you're eating Rice Krispies or whatever you have down here and you're just really, really starving, we find a way for you to afford it. And that's the part of the presentation that Jen's going to take you through right now, and in short order, to take us through how we can get that paid.
Yep.
Cool?
Yeah.
So Roy, just, and you guys, right now we have 5 to 9. And Roy, I think we're supposed to end at 9, right? And that's the commitment we've made. What do you guys want to do? You want to end right at 9? Is this, or do you want to take maybe 5 extra minutes and let Jen show basically how this goes into showing you how to get paid and how to get your people paid and create a business? Would that be okay? Yeah. All right, awesome.
Okay, so I can probably wind this up in about 10 minutes. or less, because that's what I've been doing. So when David and Sarah first introduced us to Isagenix, one of the things in their email was that they were making $2,600 a month. And I was like, you know, whoop-de-doo, you know, and I thought they were doing this big Amway business that was taking all of their time and then making $2,600 a month. That didn't make sense to me. And so I kind of looked at it, did a bit of my own maths and went, I'm going to have to sign up 4,000 people, and it's not going to happen. So what I've been doing in the last few months is explaining to people, is doing something I was too scared to do initially. I would only ever talk about the products, I would never talk about the business. And I still don't talk about the business, but what I do is I explain to people how to get paid. And I just explain to them that Isagenix is an incredible company, and they have a belief that everyone deserves good health and that no one should have to pay for good health. So they've chosen a business model which enables people to have good health and not have to pay for it. And when you, this kind of edges into the network marketing thing a little bit, Paul, with some of your questions. You can see why they had to choose this model. Retail was never going to provide that because you have to pay for retail. You know, this was their only choice as far as that goes. And just a really quick little, a little bit off topic, and I'll get back on, but and one of my big aha moments as far as the network marketing model went was after a couple of months after Phoenix, Jono and I went down to Sydney to do an Isagenix training by a gentleman called David Wood, and he's just an incredible trainer, and he used to work for T. Harv Eker in Millionaire Mindset Training. He was one of his top trainers.
Yeah, Peak Potentials, he was his top trainer,
Yeah, and you know, it's like usually $5,000 to attend a 2-day David Wood course. So for $150 you can go with Isagenix. They subsidise it all. I don't know what they do. They do nice things for him or something, but he comes and does it for $150. Fantastic course. So we're getting to the end of our 2 days, and they're handing out these skinny little candles with alfoil underneath, and it's like 8:30 at night, and I'm just thinking, yep, this has been great, but I'm starving and I'm ready to go home, and there's 100 people in the room, and we're all getting our candle, and we have to fold it really careful to make sure we don't get wax on the floor, and they turn all the lights down and put us in a big circle, and he's in the middle, and he lights his candle, and he's talking away, and he's just telling us stuff, and I'm getting a bit more frustrated, thinking, I want to go home, and then he lights someone's candle, and then I'm thinking, and then he talks a bit more, and I'm thinking, oh my God, we're going to be here all night. Like if he's going to do this, and then he lights another person's candle, and he keeps talking, and he's, you know, saying interesting stuff, and I'm just about to feeling myself, you know, want to scream and run outside the door inside. And then he says, Sharon and Renata, I want you to turn around and share. And you start lighting candles. Within 30 seconds, the room was lit up. And that was just so powerful for me, because I thought, how else can you help as many people as possible? This is the only business model that they could have chosen. There is no other. So all of my poo-poo about network marketing and all of my concerns and all of my whatever, all those old beliefs that I had just went out the window, because I can see exactly why they chose this model, and it's just brilliant, and it's the only way forward for the vision, the amazing vision that they have to basically change world health and wealth. So so now I'm not scared to talk about the business. I don't call it the business, but I say to someone new, even in an initial first phone call, I say, look, I was talking to a girl today actually, and we were talking about the products and how she could tweak it for what she wants to do, the Kokoda Trail in July, and what she can do, and talking about her training a little bit, and then so we got to the cost. She said, oh, how much is it? And I explained the $420 for a 30-day starter pack. It's what I start everyone on, because they get a blender, they get everything they need to do the full cleanse and add back in the great nutrition. And she said, and I talked about redirecting, and then I just do a quick add-on, and I just said, and you know, I tell her, you know, Isagenix as a company believes that everyone should have great health and no one should have to pay for it. So they've actually chosen a business model which pays you for referring or sharing the products with your friends. So if you have, for example, and I say, I won't spend too much time because we're just on a quick call, but for example, if you have two friends who might like to do this program at the same time as you, Isagenix will pay you $150 back straight away. And so your $420 is really $270, and she's like, that's fantastic. Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, Woolworths never paid me that for shopping there. And you know, it's just, and then I leave it alone and I sort of go away. So the next step is once they're using the products, I like to do a couple of calls to see, did you get your pack? Did you read everything? Did you watch the DVD? Did you understand what you're doing? Do you have any questions? And then I say, look, when I first started, I was only interested in the products, and I say, you know how I was telling you about how, you know, the two people thing? Well, what I'm going to do, and it may be of interest to you now or not, I'm not sure, but I'm just going to take 5 minutes of your time to map out to you how Isagenix pays you, you know, after that $150, how they keep paying you. And you can take it or leave it, I'm not sure. All I know is if someone showed me that initially, I probably would have taken a better look at it than I did, and understood what I was doing and why. So I'm just going to show it to you, and then you can do what you want with it. So I do this with people over the phone, mostly because most of my people aren't face-to-face. So I just say, get a piece of paper, and...
Which you guys can do. You have a piece of paper?
Yep, so grab a piece of paper. So I'm on the phone, they're on the phone. So say down the left-hand side of your page, I want you to write the letter A, C, M, D, and E. Okay, so next to A, I want you to write associate. And I do this pretty quickly because I'm just wanting to give them a taste and a picture. And if they're not interested, I don't want to be harping on for half an hour. And if they are interested, then I just say to them at the end, you know, if you want to know more, I'm happy to spend as much time as you like to help you understand this, but I'm not just drilling them. Like, you got to do the business and blah, blah, blah. So next to associate, next to A, associate, the next one's consultant, manager, director, and executive. Okay, so in the middle of the page, so I'm giving fairly specific instructions because then I have the visual. I want you to draw a circle, and this is you. And then I want you to give this circle two legs, one to the left and one to the right, and put two more circles. And I want you to write in that circle them A and them B. And this is what Isagenix calls U plus 2. So over on the right hand side, I want you to write U plus 2. So when you share Isagenix with two people, if you were to share just with them, that person, them A, on a 30-day starter pack, which is just what we're going to talk about for the sake of ease, Isagenix will pay you a $25 bonus. So under person, them A, I want you to write $25. Now, if you introduce two people within the same pay week, which is Monday lunchtime to Monday lunchtime, Isagenix says, wow, that's awesome. We're really excited about that. We're going to double that for you, for both people. So cross out the 25, and I want you to write 50. And over at person B, I want you to write 50. And then as a little bonus for becoming what Isagenix calls a consultant, which is where we are now, which means U plus 2, so you've enrolled two people, Isagenix pays you another $50. So over under U plus 2, I want you to write 150. Okay, so that's U plus 2, your first $150.
Jen, maybe switch pens with the next one, just for
colour.
I'm not sure if that's going to be easier because it gets busy.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So then the next thing that Isagenix talks about is them plus 2. So what they want us to do is help these person A and person B to get paid as well. So we just made $150. Wouldn't it be nice to help that person only pay $270 instead of $420? So we're starting to show people how to get their products paid for.
And sometimes, just while you're drawing, sometimes I'll make it a little joke, like, hey, I just showed you how to make $150, so are you one of those people that want to keep that all for yourself, or are you going to share the secret with your friends? Like, do you think your friends would see value in getting a $150 rebate? Mm-hmm. Because they're going to want to. They want $150 off as well. So this is just a way to show them how to get their $150 rebate.
And I say to people, everybody knows two people who want to lose some weight or have some more energy. Everyone knows those two people. They have to. So if you know those two people, and so will they, and so will they. You just have to show them, how to do it. So when you help that person do a U+2, which is your them +2, Isagenix will pay them the $150, and same with person B, but Isagenix will pay you $100 for helping them to become a consultant. So over here, $100, and over here, $100. Okay, so there's another 200, we're right over here. And then if you do this within 30 days, Isagenix will pay you an additional bonus of $250. Okay, so now we're up to $600. Just for doing U+2, them +2. Okay, so if you repeat that 2 more times, so you do another U+2, them +2, and another U+2, them +2, that means you'll have created, so you've got 2 consultants now, so a U+2, them +2 equals 2 consultants, so if you do that 2 more times, you'll have another plus another 4 consultants down here. So that means you've got 6 consultants, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So guess what? There's 100, there's another 100, there's another 100, there's another 100. So over here we've got another 400. And if we do that within 90 days, Isagenix pays us a $750 bonus. So now we're up to $1,750.
And don't forget, in there you're also going to have your product introductory bonuses. So you'll still have your
50, 50, 50, 50.
Yeah.
Yep.
For enrolling those people.
Yep. And so another U+2, them +2, and another U+2, them +2. So we create 4 more consultants, another 100, another 100, 100, 100. So there's another 400. And if we do that within 6 months, Isagenix will pay us another $1,000 bonus. So now we're up to 3,150, is that right? 3,050? Where am I? I've got pregnant brain. 150?
Well, you'd be 400. You'd be $400 more because of the product introductory bonuses.
Yeah. So you're up to 3,550.
Yeah, that's right.
That's bonus money as well, Jen. That's bonus. Right?
Yeah.
That's for rank advancing and bonuses.
That's without thinking about your 6% of sales volume and starting to get a few cycles here and there and everywhere. So then I could just quickly explain to people. So Isagenix pays us in 3 ways. So it pays us every week, which is really nice because cash flow is king. Pays us monthly, and just new, Isagenix now pays us yearly. So the way they pay us weekly are in our product introductory bonuses, so they're the $50 lots we're talking about. In our rank advancement bonuses, so they're all the hundreds. So I've just shown you 10 consultants at $100 each is $1,000, but Isagenix will pay you $100 for every consultant you keep creating up to 20 consultants. And then they also pay us in the 6% of sales volume underneath. And then they also have a monthly bonus pool. So once you get to manager, which means you've done a U+2, them +2, it's not that hard, you qualify to go into the monthly bonus pools, and that's where Jono and I have won, I think 6,000 one month, 6,000 the next month, 8,000 the next month, and then 16,000 last month. So they're really fun to play in, and it's just fun.
It's an understatement, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just like, and this month, like we were talking about it last night, you just don't know what's going to happen. So we'll find out next week. So must be a manager. And then also the yearly bonus pools, and this is just money for jam, just by being a manager, but for a 12-month period, you'll just get paid just before Christmas around $1,500, $1,500.
For a manager, yep.
For a manager, around 3,000 to 5,000, I think, for a...
Probably 3,000 safe, yeah.
Around 3,000 for a director. So if you just get 6 consultants underneath you and just stay as a director
for a full year,
for a 12-month period, come just before Christmas, Isagenix will just lump $3,000 into your bank account, and for a executive, it'll be 5,000 or 7,000. So
these are bonuses on top of everything, right? So it's, and you know, if you're not a director right now, even though we're a portion of the year in, that doesn't matter. You'll get it the percentage of the year to where, you know, it'll still work out. It's not, you don't get punished for not being.
Yeah.
You know, so it's really important to get there.
The 6% is Isagenix converts dollars spent into BV, which is business volume, which they then convert into cycles, which they then convert back to dollars.
Hey Jen, can I offer a suggestion?
Absolutely.
Just because it's really important that we use the tools, right?
Yes.
So remember I said www.isamovie.com? Here's some homework. 12 minutes of your time. Isagenix just released an incredible video that shows us how do we get compensated. Not only is it important for you, but it's important for you to be able to share it with somebody else. And it's called the compensation plan. If I'm ever walking into a business, I want to know how I'm going to get paid. And for you guys, the greatest gift you could give yourself is to really truly understand it. So watch it once and then watch it again. And they make it fun. It's about 12 minutes long, so that one's a little bit longer, but you really get a sense of how you get paid, and that's important. You need to understand. So that tool's there.
Sorry, just for a second. Jen, you mentioned about within 90 days.
Yeah.
And within 6 months, is that of when you first start or when they sign up?
Yeah, it's from, so Isagenix is what, the reason they're adding in that money is just to create a sense of urgency, because what they've recognised, if you get in and start enrolling and start helping other people, showing other people how to get paid early on, then that will create momentum in your business not too far down the track. Whereas if you sit around and do nothing for 12 months, then you're kind of more likely to quit because, well, that didn't do me anything, I only got $50. So that's it's a really great point, and that's why I explain this to people right on the first day. Because if I don't, how many months are you in now? And so you've missed out on a couple of those bonuses.
And you know, the other thing is that stats show that when somebody gets their products paid for, they're eating for free, they never quit. Why would you ever quit? You're eating for free. So that's our goal, is to help people get their products for free. And the quicker you do it.
Yeah, so all businesses are looking at new customers and then retaining their customers. So your customer retention in Isagenix is about getting them paid.
Yeah.
Once you show them how to get paid and get their products for free, they'll always be your customer.
Because the products work, but people will quit on themselves, right? Something gets boring or whatever, but all of a sudden you start eating for free. It's like, this is all right. Why wouldn't I?
And one thing that Sean taught me quite early on in the piece is that Sean calls it the road to 5 cycles is the hardest and the slowest road. And that's where, Kale, can you draw that little graph that I think is just really useful? So you initially invest a lot of time, and when I say a lot of time, you know, for Jono and I, it honestly has been about 15 hours a week from the whole time. So initially we're investing 15 hours a week and not earning much at all. And, you know, I think in our first month $600, in our next month $800, and then suddenly, oh, that covered our products. We got our products for free. That's well paid for. That's pretty cool. And then, but then once we got to 5 cycles, it was like, well, it just starts to, the growth starts to become exponential, and there's a lot more time between 0 and 5 cycles than there is between 5 and 10. And then 10 to 15 just happened like that, and now it's just like boom, 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 going up so quickly. So, but most people quit before they get to the 5 cycles because it's the hardest part, it's the learning phase, it's when you're not seeing the money coming in. And if you can get yourself to 5 cycles, you've learnt so much, you're obviously doing something right. And that's $250 a week, every week. You know, and you start to think, wow, what if I just did 10 times whatever I've done then? $2,500 a week, that's starting to get kind of pretty cool. I can quit some other stuff that I'm doing when I've got that coming into me every week.
Mm-hmm. And I think with that, it's really, and again, we'll wrap up here, but it's important in terms of business planning and understanding where you want to go, where your goals are, just financially. It's important to tie in with people that are doing it. So if you want to know what the road to success, well, you know, I'd like to create $500 a month in residual income. I'd like to create $5,000 a month in residual income. I want to create $10,000. Well, I mean, you have somebody here who's willing to spend as much time as you need to chart that, plan it out. Don't try to do it on your own. You don't need to. You know, we would be on the phone with you as well. Even though we're half a world apart, you're on our team, and we're willing to spend that time. We've done that with the people that basically reached out and asked our help. We were there for them, Skype or whatever it may be. That's what it's all about.
One of the mistakes I was making an assumption as to what would turn people on as far as an income. So just because my goal is 20 grand a week with Isagenix, and I'm not going to stop until I get to 20 grand a week, and then I don't know what I'm going to do.
Change it to 40 probably.
Haven't thought past that. And that's why I went $2,600 a month. It just didn't even get my interest. But for some people, if you start talking in terms of 20 grand a week, they're just going to go, oh, this is obviously some sort of a joke. Like, you know, they can't, that's not even, but you know, I imagine if I talk to Roy in terms of anything less than 20 grand a week, he's just going to go, yeah, thanks Jen for wasting my last 5 minutes. And, you know, so don't assume. It's just a really good question to ask people, like, if you could create an income from this, what would you want it to be? What would it be? Would it be to cover your rent, to cover a car payment, to cover a mortgage payment, to let your husband quit work? Like, what would be something meaningful to you? What would you want? And put it in real terms for them and get an understanding of where you need to help them set their goal and then map out how to get there.
It's so critical, and you know, the $20,000 is relevant for Jen because her mind is operating on that level. But for some people you're going to be dealing with, $400 is the difference between making it and not making it. And you can show them a way to create $400. That's the entire, and if you were to say, I can show you a way to make $20,000, they're not even checked in. It's not even in their mindset. They can't even comprehend. It's not a realistic thing. They're not listening. But the $400 between them making it and not making it could be everything. You know, we have the power to be able to help those people create that. Looking at this list, we'll stay for some time after to address some of the ones we've missed. I know you wanted to talk about working as a couple, and both of us have developed teams as couples, and it's a very powerful way to build your business, so we can stay and address that. And then what else did we not? Oh, business and we also, this is really important because I think that, you know, Jen has shared 2 hours a day. We've shared 2 hours a day. There's a clue there. 15 hours a week. You know, that's not, do you guys have 15 hours a week? The difference between a business and a hobby is, in that 2 hours, what are you doing? You know, are you completely focused in? Are you doing income producing activities that whole time? Are you dialing, making those calls, doing those presentations, supporting? Like, it's really about the intensity of what you do with those 2 hours. So you don't have to spend a lifetime doing it. This graph is really great, but just keep in mind that in the first year, it was still 2 hours. In the last year so far right now, it's still 2 hours. But the compensation has increased because your network has increased. When we're doing these presentations, do you guys get something out of that tool, the presentation, and how that kind of flows? Do you feel a little better about that? Do you feel comfortable with the products and how they work together? Know that when we're looking at building a business and you're doing a presentation, this is something I took away from Travis Garza, and he's the head of sales for Isagenix, and absolutely critical. People are they're asking themselves when they listen to you 3 very important questions. One is, can I do this? So I think, can I do this? Do I have time to do this? And do I feel comfortable with this opportunity, sharing it with my family, friends, and the people I care about the most? Because if I'm going to engage in something and I care about it, I probably will share with them first. We talked about family a little bit, right? Was it you? Was it you? Somebody on this side talked about family, sharing with family? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So those are really important. So if we make things complicated, like we're very technical with our information about the products, we have a system where we're not using the tools, we're kind of creating as we go, people are going to be like, man, Jen, like, I could never do that. Like, it's great for her, she's been able to do it, I couldn't do that. If that's happened, we've failed, because it won't duplicate, and people won't believe that they can do it too. If we are busy people, not being accessible, running around with our heads cut off, we're talking about freedom, but we have no freedom, they're going to think, man, I don't have time for this. And I think the opportunity speaks for itself, and you guys have seen, when you go to spend time at an event, and we'll finish off, like, events build belief. Every single one of us, our business exploded after an event. You guys have one of the biggest Isagenix events that are offered every year right here on the Gold Coast this weekend. And I know you guys are busy, some of you are busy doing things. If there is a way, and you're serious about this opportunity, only if you're serious about this opportunity, because again, business and hobby. If it's a hobby, no big deal. If it's a business, and you can make it 20 minutes up the road to take in Celebration, I think it's $300.
If you've been in under 3 months, it's $129 for
okay.
the 2 days, and $199 if you've been in longer than 3 months.
If it was $1,000, you'd get an incredible return on your investment. For $129, I mean, it's ridiculous, right? So it will every single person that has exploded their business, including ourselves, you can pinpoint the time back to when we went to an event. As soon as we went to an event and saw what this was all about on a bigger scale than a room like this, it just changed everything. It changed everything for us, and it's changed everything for Jen and everybody that we've been in contact with. So I really would, if you're interested, get the information, and we'd love to see you there. We're going to be there. We came all the way from Canada to attend this event. Surely, if you have the time, and it's possible, 20 minutes isn't that far to travel. That was what I would say about that.
And if nothing else, you're going to give away 2 days of your time, and you're going to either have absolute certainty that this is for you, or absolute certainty that it's not. And you're not going to waste any more time just pretending to do this as a hobby for the next however long. And you're going to have such a clear sense of how to move forward from here and how to do this.
Yeah. And this business will treat you the way you've treated it. If you treat it like a business, it's going to perform like it. If you treat it like a hobby, it'll perform like it. This is great because it's so transparent. We can't hide, right? We can't hide. I know when I'm not in action, I start, oh man, nothing's happening. And then I think, oh right, I'm not happening is what's not happening. I can't hide. Whereas in a job, I can kind of sneak around a little bit, right? But a lot of these things that we did, developing a list, remember the most important thing, tools please, this is a gift. This is an absolute gift. Just go to this site. Everything that we could possibly go over for you is on that site, A to Z. Just start working through it. It's the best thing that you could possibly do. I don't have, share with others. Really share, because it's not about us, it's about them. And I know as soon as we got over our ego about how we're going to look by sharing with that, oh God, what are they going to think? Oh man, as soon as we kind of got over our ego about how we're looking and just really focused on others, it changed. So don't deny another person the right to have the opportunity to say yes or no because of what you're thinking they're going to say. Give them the opportunity. No, we've extended you. Thank you very much, you guys. And like I said, we'll stay
No,
and
it's fine. It's all good.
share with you guys. So
Great, great to see you.
cool.
Yep.
Yeah, our pleasure.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome. Absolutely. Yep.